Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today marks the first day of the Millard Falls reopening, so we'll be visiting today's hike at Sunset Ridge to Dawn Mine Loop via the Mount Low motorway. This opening serves as a symbol of resilience and regrowth following the tragic Altadena fires. There we'll find cool sights such as waterholes, dozens of mini waterfalls, and an elusive cave, along with directions on how to get there.
We are on North Altadena Drive at East Prairie Street. You can just see the black smoke being fanned, being pushed by these high Santa Ana winds. You see the palm trees bending there.
Exactly 1 year and 11 days ago today, California was the victim of several major simultaneous wildfires that were sustained by a freak occurrence of the Santa Ana winds. Thousands lost their homes and many lives were upended. Driving up South Olive Street and making our way up to Millard Falls, we can see several vacant lots that were the subject of the Altadena fires that tore through the community. It should serve as a reminder as to the fragility and care needed when visiting these reopened trails. If you want to serve in the aid of the reforestation or help the community, please visit the links in the bio so you can volunteer and share your part in this effort. Parking at the base of Cheney Trail / road, you'll notice the gate leading up to the main parking area is closed. However, most trails have reopened. Just keep your eye out for signage. The restrictions are part of the continued effort of the USFS to help protect both the forests and the hikers following these fires. You'll notice that there's plenty of signage of where you can and cannot go. For this hike, we're going to use this cutaway trail just off to the right. You'll find beautiful vistas and a quicker way up to the top of the mountain using this trail. Notice many of the burn scars are still present and visible. Reaching the top, you're going to see Mount Low motorway just off in the distance there, and ahead the road that leads up to it. So coming across this junction, the left serves as the upper parking lot area, the right is Mount Low motorway, and the middle is a lesser known trail to the Millard Falls. Probably the most convenient trail, in my opinion, if your plan is to get there. Today's adventure takes us to the right of this path. You'll eventually reach the sign off on the left, which marks the trailhead to Sunset Ridge. This trail takes us most of the way to Dawn Mine, more on that later, and loops back to the motorway from which we started. Please keep your wits about you. I almost got flung off the side of the trail following this mountain biker. I'm not blaming anyone, but for anyone who's hiking this trail, just be aware. It's a very narrow trail with a lot of blind spots. One misstep could be harmful and or fatal.
Getting whack, dude.
Whack down the side of the mountain. Alright, coming up on our third junction, I think this is. We have a trail splitting off to Echo Mountain, which also connects to Sunset Trail. And of course, Dawn Mine. So that's where we're going. We got to keep our eyes peeled. You'll see this makeshift bridge trail, and we're going to respect the privacy of this person's shelter, workstation, what have you. You're going to come across this fork. You're going to just stay left on the path. It seems a little counterintuitive, but that's going to be the correct path. You'll eventually come across that signage there, and you'll know you're on the right track.
Check this out.
Not bad. I haven't seen this in who knows how long. Once you reach Millard Creek, you have two options. You can go left down the creek and reach the top of Millard Falls, or you can go right up the creek towards Dawn Mine. I decided to check out the top of Millard Falls since I was feeling a little extra adventurous.
Top of Millard Falls. You can see the famous wedge there. Now you can see some people down there actually. Alright, as you can see, we made it back from our starting point, from where we broke off to see top of Millard Falls. Past that water crossing is where Dawn Mine Trail continues.
Alright, for this portion of the hike, there really is no need for turn-by-turn directions. The whole gist of the section is just following the creek up. While I recommend that you keep your eyes peeled for signs, well-traveled footpaths, and the occasional cobblestone stairs, it's really a choose-your-own-adventure type of hike. So feel free to check out some of these cool shots of what you can expect, along with some additional tidbits on history tips and tricks on how to reach the elusive Dawn Mine. So stick around.
Alright, so I don't give a shit. Alright, continuing up the top. Set some great more little waterfalls there. I know I'm a little bit drenched, but I don't regret it. Found some more steps. Plenty of water holes to cool down. I'm knee deep in this. That's cool. I see a junction here and here.
Alright, so this is where things got a little difficult for me and I had to make a decision. You come across this junction somewhere at the halfway point of the trail. And this trail that I'm currently on is actually where I presume I was supposed to go to connect back to the loop. However, the trail was really waned out and there was a tree obstructing the path. So out of precaution, I decided to just continue up the creek since I knew that there was another marker point dubbed the structure waiting at the end. Here on the map, here's our approximate location, and that's where we're headed up the creek, not more than 30-40 feet from where we were just at.
Oh yeah, check that out. Very cool.
And here's that structure I was telling you guys about. So apparently it's a type of engine that helped deliver gold in the early 1900s when gold was discovered in the area.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I could follow the creek up that ridge there.
Okay, so for a bit of context, I was trying to figure out how to reconnect back to the loop. I figured out that on the maps, if you follow the creek up, you get really close to converging back with the trail. So following it up, I found this waterfall, and then I decided to boulder up the rocks right next to it.
I told you guys, you have to be careful.
Reaching the top, I was able to find the trail right next to it, literally right there.
Just right there. Thank God I downloaded the offline maps because, yeah, this is a beast.
Alright, so to the right of the trail is where it reconnects back to the loop. And to the left is the direction of Dawn Mine.
Always follow your gut instincts.
I think I found it.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. It goes in. All right, allow me to put on my headlamp and we'll go investigate. This is crazy. All right, I got the headlamp on and I'm headed in. Hopefully there's no wildlife sleeping. Holy shit. Wow. It really goes deep in here too. Okay. Well, there you have it. Dawn Mine. Looks like they got to this point and I guess said, well, that's enough. That's enough of that. This is insane. Oh man. Oh dude. I'm in a motherfucking cave, dog. I don't even know how it looks in the camera. That's cool. That's cool stuff.
Well, that was by far the coolest thing that I have ever done in the National Angeles Forest. Alright, so exiting Dawn Mine and reconnecting back to the loop, we'll come across this sign. One points us to the direction of Sunset Ridge. That's the trail we took to get here. That's off to the right, and to the left is our intended route, which will take us back up to Mount Motorway and loop us out back to our starting point. Dicey here, but for the most part, just mind your footing and onward. All right, so for this portion of the hike, I realize it may not be for everyone. Very narrow trails and steep vertical drop-offs. It's almost 1,800 feet in elevation gain. So if you do decide to do this portion, just make sure you watch your step, take your time, and be sure to bring plenty of water. I brought 1.5 liters, and I believe I had finished it all by the time I was done with this hike. All right, looks like I reached the top. Yeah, that's cool. Wow, incredible. All right, so if you made it this far, the road in front of you to the right is going to be the road that takes you all the way back out to from where you started. Here's the map for reference and the approximate location of where you should end up. You're literally just following the motorway all the way down, and that will conclude your hike.